In the top left of the screen, you will find the wave section, and this is where you can select the wavetables to use as a sound source. There are two wave sections you can use and edit independently simply by clicking on the words Wave 1 or Wave 2, allowing you to have two sound sources or waves simultaneously. Both have the same set of parameters which can be edited independently. To be able to hear Wave 2, you will need to turn up Wave 2 in the mixer section, which can be found on the right side of the synth. On the left side of the wave section are the controls for editing the wave's pitch and wave cycle, and on the right side are the spectrum controls, which allow you to edit the spectral content of the wave. In the center of this section are two controls, the wave control and the spectrum control. The wave control can be seen with a red outlined edge around the controller. The spectrum control can be seen with a blue outlined edge around the controller. The wave parameters allow you to scan through the selected wavetable to find a particular part of the wavetable you want to start your sound with. This is also visible on the 3D graph represented as a red line that shows the current position within the wavetable. The spectrum control allows you to transpose the spectral content of a wave's current position by shifting it either positively or negatively. This allows you to add, subtract, and even move the harmonics of the selected sound. This could be demonstrated by using a frequency analyzer. This can sound slightly similar to applying a low-pass filter using the spectrum control negatively when turning it to the left. Or as a high-pass filter when the spectrum control is used positively when turning it to the right. But this is doing more than just filtering. When you use the spectrum control positively, it adds more higher harmonics, making the sound brighter. The more the spectrum control is turned to the right, the more the fundamental harmonic level is reduced. Using negative values behave in much the same way as you would expect. Instead of shifting the harmonic content higher, it shifts them lower. When using a sine wave which only contains the fundamental harmonic, you can apply extra harmonics by moving the control positively. This is a control that is definitely worth experimenting with. Taking a look at the left side of the wave section, the detune parameter adjusts the fine tuning of the wave positively by turning it to the right, and negatively by turning it to the left. The maximum values are plus 50 cent positively and minus 50 cent negatively. The semi-control adjusts the pitch of the sound in semitones, positively turning it to the right, and negatively turning it to the left. The maximum values are plus 24 semitones to the right and minus 24 semitones to the left. The modulation source for the wave section is where you can select what other parameters or section of the synth you want to modulate the wave position. To turn this on, you will need to click the on switch, which will light up blue when it's turned on. You can either click on the empty box to show a list of controls to use as the modulator, or scroll down and up with your mouse wheel. The amount parameter below allows you to adjust the intensity of the modulation, either positively by turning it to the right, or negatively by turning it to the left. The travel parameter allows cyclic movement of the wave position within the selected wavetable. This essentially allows the selected starting point of the wavetable to scan or move forwards or backwards within the wavetable in a looped fashion. The travel control works in a similar way to how a sawtooth LFO modulating the starting point would work. Once the scan has reached the end of the wavetable, it restarts from the beginning. The more the travel is moved positively to the right, the faster the cycles move in a forward direction. The more the travel is moved negatively to the left, the faster the cycles move in a backwards direction. The clock sync switch allows you to sync the travel. Setting it to clock will sync the controls to the internal tempo and allows you to sync the travel's cycle in musical values. Setting it to sync will do the same as the clock setting, except it will not be in clocked musical values. Both the clocked and sync settings will trigger the travel at the same time for all key presses. The center setting is neither clocked nor synced and will allow each key press to re-trigger the travel start point. The noisy control adds noise to the wave signal, making the wave itself sound noisy. Using brilliance is great for creating older and more lo-fi sounding tones, reminiscent of earlier digital synthesizer waveforms. Using brilliance with the spectrum parameter set to positive values narrows the range of harmonics and increases the level of those that are left. This can sound as though the perceived pitch is coming from the effect created within the spectrum as opposed to just the oscillator or wavetable's main sound. The spectrum modulation section allows you to modulate the wave's spectrum control position using several modulation sources. To turn this on, you need to click on the on switch, which will light up blue when it's turned on. You can either click on the empty box to show a list of controls to use as the modulator or scroll down and up with your mouse wheel. The amount parameter below allows you to adjust the intensity of the modulation, either positively by turning it to the right or negatively by turning it to the left. Key track allows you to transpose the spectrum in relation to the pitch of the sound. The default setting is 100%, so it always follows the transposing of the main pitch of the sound. Waldorf recommends that setting the key track to 0% is a good setting for speech and singing, as the formants are not influenced by the pitch, and based on this, Nave included a speech synth for creating speech wavetables.